What made you move to Australia? Were you like, moving back to Australia?
So,
what was the reason? Did you guys really?
done your research?
I did my research.
No, that was a tough gig, that one. And to be honest with you, the last time I died on stage was in.
Who's your Mount Rushmore of comedy?
Sure. This is such a hard one, eh?
Are you ever tempted
Of course.
I want to
We're
cross
toying
that
with doing
line,
an
but I'm
uncensored show.
You know, there's Yox's routine, Cassio D Nova out here with the one and only future legend over here, young legend over here, Kevin Fraser. How you doing?
Good on you, bro. Thanks so much. Cassio.
Yeah, man.
I've never met someone named Cassio before.
Hey.
Like the calculator.
It's from Shakespeare. Shakespeare, Othello.
Got some
Michael
old
Cassio.
vibes coming in here.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Welcome. It is the Dressing Room Podcast, right?
It is. Pretty big dressing room.
Yeah. We're not in dressing room, but hey, we had to do something. And that's what we have. You just flew in, right?
Yes.
From Joburg. Durban, actually.
So yeah, carried the heat with me.
Yeah.
And yeah, we
jam-packed show, man. You busy?
Yes. Last night, we always like ask ourselves on the morning of the next show, like, why did we do a show the night before? Because you know, got to fly.
Because it's like you got to catch up and all that.
So much prep.
Yeah, and international shows, man.
Yes.
Like, I think next year you're going to Dubai, you're going to Spain.
Yes.
That is
some new areas on the cards, which will be exciting. It's always nice to go to a new spot and just get everything thrown at you. Some familiar places like Amsterdam, also going to be visiting Switzerland. Yeah, it's always a laugh. The French
and I gotta ask, did you ever envision this? I know you wanted to do drama as a kid, right?
Yes.
So did you ever did you want to do screen first of all, or did you want to do plays? Like, what did you want to do in terms of drama?
I mean, I was doing plays, but I didn't envision that I would take the comedy touring path and have shows like this, let alone have a fan base that actually want to come. Yeah. But I always knew and visualized myself on a stage, whether it be through TV and film or theater. I wasn't 100% sure, but I knew that's where.
Or music.
Or music,
yeah. Because you started with music, right?
I think my patience just wore thin, man. It's like anybody who makes music, I am so impressed by, because it requires that time and that bond with the computer. My bond is with people, so.
so going back, you started in music, DJ Spin Doctor.
Yes.
Right? Now, in terms of the difference, I imagine it's like a high. You know, being in front of the audience, whether you're on the decks and controlling the crowd, right?
Yes.
And same thing when it comes to comedy, right? You get kind of like controlling the crowd in terms of when to laugh, when to react, right?
Exactly.
In terms of feeling, right? Which one's better?
I haven't had that question before. In terms of the feeling, it is a close line, you know, because when you play a track that, and let alone if you'd produced it, right? That everybody's feeling and dancing to, there's no better. And you can enjoy that moment with people as a DJ. Exactly. So like you're bouncing with them or you're on stage, blah, blah, blah. If I tell a killer joke, or when I tell a killer joke, and everybody goes nuts, I can't go nuts with them. People will be like, what are you doing? Carry on.
That's true, actually. That's true. Right?
But I think the appreciation afterwards is tenfold. So it's
because
that's my work.
It comes from you in terms of the joke, right?
Exactly. So I think in the moment, DJing. Yeah. But for the long term,
what's more nerve-wracking, DJing or being on stage? Comedy. Yeah.
I mean, the first gig I did before, I was still kind of DJing, but the first show I'd done in this format, I knew the feeling of going on stage, I knew the emotion, I knew how the nerves and everything, but then when I ran on stage and then everyone claps and screams and then they go quiet and they're sitting like us, and then it's like, now carry on. I'm like, this is how it feels.
You have an interesting beginning in terms of comedy, right? It started on social media, right?
Yeah.
Like you were now going on to clubs and doing stand-up, right? So isn't that scary in terms of okay, people are loving this on social media. How do I then take this on stage?
Yeah.
Right? And you didn't decide to actually go to clubs. You just like, I'm gonna create a show.
Yeah.
And I think you talk about like basically getting a credit card and like putting everything like, this is what I'm gonna do. I need to make it happen.
100%.
Right?
I think, I mean, I'd been DJing for 15 years or so.
Yeah.
And I felt like I'd had this progressive journey through, you know, weddings and 21sts and this and that. And then I got the opportunity to be in the clubs and then sell all my stuff. And then I was a circuit DJ and I was doing all of these club gigs. And I think that the lessons I'd learned, I'd had this little bit of a feeling in me that I thought, you know, now it's time to truly do my own show, bring some of those skills into the live comedy show. But I'd always kind of been on stage doing my acting gigs and stuff like that. So I thought, what if this is the chance to just create all those shows that I want to do myself and see if people are going to be able to come. And I think the confidence came from the feedback loop of social media where people are like, you know, one of my biggest viral videos that happened, a guy was actually writing comments there like, where's this guy's tickets? I can't find him online. I'm like, what do you mean tickets? Like, do you want to come and watch me do a video? Like, I don't understand. So I just started building my canvas, you know, to get that feedback, and then in the other side of things, I was building my show and writing, and
it kind of worked out perfectly. I mean, in terms of that drama, like doing that in high school, because like your acting skills, the impersonations, the accents, like it's so spot on.
Thank you, man.
I need to know. Right, because when you pull the accent inspired by Coco Anna, you know, it's like endpoint. I can see it as like South Africa, authentic. Then even the Indian accent, like that Durban Indian accent, I'm like, how do you do that, right? Just break it down in terms of like trying to like do like an impersonation of like an accent. What is the science behind it? Like
science behind it. Well, I mean, maybe I've been a little bit fortunate coming from Durban because they, like, every time I go back, I'm like, wow, we really are such a melting pot of different cultures, you know. But from being in the days of school and actually learning how to do acting stuff with drama on a basic level, you know, one of the things you learn very fast in observational humor is to watch how people speak, watch their mannerism, listen to what they're doing with their vocal cords. And I think when I had my first trip overseas to the US, it was the most testing because I found myself speaking to so many Americans back to them with their accent. You know, even my family was like, Kev, you need to like just you can maintain
neutral. You know, that's a funny thing because I was in America like 2 years ago. And the funny thing is, like, you need to adapt. Because if you say, hey, can I have a glass of water? They don't understand. Like, what? You have to say water. You know?
And I'm trying to think, like, how does that sound to them? Like in Australia, for example, like if I say when I've been asked for coffee or something, I'm like, yeah. They hear as a pompous sort of and I'm like, no, my bro. Like, this is how it is. So I guess it's just trying to, I mean, a tip would be vowel sounds, right? Like any language works on A, E, I, O, U. Learn what those vowel sounds are with that accent, and then you can sort of say anything. Like in Australia, it's I, E, I, O, U.
That is interesting. Then when it comes to like Indian, like Indian accent, how would be?
It's a lot more dancing in the mouth, right?
and all.
Close it a bit. Pick up the pace. See, sometimes pace is a thing too. Like if you just pick up the pace, the perception changes as well.
That's true. That's true. And you going back, you moved to Australia in 2014, right?
Yes.
What made you move to Australia when you're like, moving back to Australia?
So,
what was the reason?
So I'd had family there for several years. And I had like all my nephews there as well. Really wanted to connect with them. Very close with my brother. He sort of said to me, look, why don't you come get some experience here? Try a few things. You always go back to SA. I said, of course. And then I hopped on over to finish studying. That was my sort of doorway.
What did you study like?
Marketing.
Oh, marketing.
Yeah, I had studied here. I had studied here.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
With sound engineering and stuff, but also was losing my patience. And then, you know, the green passport was struggling to get into Australia, so I had to like go study a whole new thing, which was a bit like, I don't know if I want to study. But then I thought, you know, I'm going to study something that I have experience in. So it was really enjoyable doing marketing. And then I actually moved to the island of Tasmania, which was so isolated. And then I moved to Melbourne and finished my studies. But by then I'd already spent 2 years in and out. I was missing SA like crazy. So then I was planning tours to come home and just get all in it again. But it just opened up a whole bunch of doors for me. So
and you say it's that longing of just that authentic South African experience, right?
Yeah.
That made you start doing videos online.
100%, because they say, you know, it's like you never know what you had until it's gone. And it's like, wow, that's deep. Okay, cool. But when I was living life down under, I was comparing everything to home, and then I was starting to appreciate so much more from home that I didn't appreciate being here. And I think that taught me a lot, and I made a vow to myself to promise to take everything that I embody as South African and spread it to the world.
And are you doing it globally? Is there any continent you've never been to?
Korea?
Korea?
Is that a continent?
Well, Asia. You've
No,
been to
I've done
Asia.
other parts of Asia, we haven't,
Do you have like a dream destination?
See, now you're testing me on my continents. Like, I have to know my continents around. Like, is Greenland a continent? Yeah, I mean, it's a country.
It's a country. I know there's 7. I'm not going to mention them.
No, I think we've waxed pretty much every continent. So it's been on our bucket list to go there. And
that's amazing. And you're putting South Africa on the flag. Now I got to ask you, in terms of like going to different countries, right?
Yes.
People have like different experiences. The people that come to the shows, is it mostly like people from South Africa? Then how do you deal with if it's not people from South Africa, how do you deal with the, you know, like the barrier, audience barrier? Like,
I love this question, because you can almost like have this game when you go on tours to spot the South African and then spot the person who that joke just went, you know, sailing over. And it's a mix. I mean, there's expats everywhere. There's South Africans hide in every corner of this planet. And it's a mixture of those fans that follow me, that live and work there, and locals that you grow through time on your channels. And it's been very interesting on certain shows. I've had like Polish people come to some of my European shows. They came to South Africa and had an incredible experience, and then they wanted to come to something South African and enjoy. So
cool.
There's been all these weird connects like that. But in terms of managing that in a show, I think it's always about just building relatability. And if I'm going to do something exclusively South African that you'd have to know from being here, such as talking about our wild taxis or something, like you just got to give a reference point and context to everything. So that's how I manage the recipe on stage.
Got a few questions, comedian questions, all right? Who's your top 5 comedians of all time? Who's your Mount Rushmore of comedy?
Sure. This is such a hard one, because some of them are obviously actors that have gone on to other things. But if I'm gonna sit down right now and just put on a guy that's gonna make me cry, it's Kevin Hart. Not because his name's Kevin, just like, you know, he is. I just find him absolutely sensational for his storytelling, and he's just a natural. So he's definitely at Thomas, hardworking comic. I really like Michael McIntyre's work, and I've been trying to see him live for years, and I only recently got to see him in Scotland. I had the time of my life. Michael McIntyre, just very family friendly. He's so quick, he's sharp. Then, oh my gosh, I really enjoy Eddie Murphy. His old comedy days were some of the wildest, and he's obviously a brilliant actor as well. And you know, on a slightly sort of more crude front, because I don't do this type of comedy myself, but Jim Jeffries is so wild.
Are you
I just have to
ever
be like,
tempted
right.
though? Are you ever tempted?
Of course.
I want to
We're
cross
toying
that
with doing an
line, but I'm
uncensored
like,
show. Conversation.
and the last one.
And the last one, have you seen Monique?
Monique, Mrs. Parker, Monique.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She doesn't do like too much like stand up, but the stand up is like it's just I love it. I love it, and I love her. So
she's amazing.
Yeah, there's my 5.
Yeah. And when last did you die on stage?
Did I die on stage?
Yeah.
When last did I die on stage?
I mean, you're an experienced comic now, so I'm sure if things go sour, you got that bag. Like, I'm just going to use this joke, switch up and stuff like that.
To be honest with you, the last time I died on stage was in the beginning of 2022 in Tel Aviv.
Oh yeah?
Yes, and I was so looking forward to this show and like this whole new experience. Yeah. And there was stuff going on outside the venue that I did not know about, and people were leaving during my show.
Oh, so
I was
you
taking
didn't?
it personally. I was taking it super personally. I was like trying to look to my team like I need help, like the jokes are not hitting or something. Yeah. And then I was told afterwards that there was some commotion. So like, and I was
so it wasn't really.
Why didn't anyone tell me? Yeah, I was in the wrong.
I guess it's hard for comedy. Like, hey, we're gonna cap the show. Give us 5 minutes.
And you got the lights on you, and you can just like see certain people, and then like I'm like, oh, so you done? Okay, 20 minutes. That's cool. So yeah, that was wild.
That's very interesting. and as a comedian, I'm sure you meet a lot of people, a lot of fans. And what's your best response or your go-to response when someone says, "Tell me a joke"?
You're gonna ask me who's my baby reindeer because I have an answer. What my best joke?
No. As in your go-to response if someone like tell me a joke.
People say like, "What's your best joke?" And I say my ex, but it's my go-to joke. I've got to work on my one-liners. Because I often have been left stumped. I'm I actually have something for you right now.
All right.
I usually say my ex is my best joke.
Talking about your ex, is it Catherine from the dating show? Did you guys really?
Have done your research?
I do my research.
No, that was a tough gig, that one. And
did you guys really date, or was it like just for the show?
We
agreed
to do a date after my London tour, and I flew back to Melbourne just to date this girl, and I remember I was like still struggling, and
so it's
in life, and
yeah.
I could tell she was quite bougie, and I took like 3 trains, 4 buses, and 2 Ks on foot, to see this girl. I was sweating. She was like, oh, like I just got here, my taxi, and I was like, oh, me too, Just caught a yellow cab for the same price as Lobola, and I'm like, but yeah, it didn't work out. We were different people.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
And in reality TV, they make you do so much stuff again. So it was like we had to relive moments that were just not working.
Because I saw they brought you back to the show.
And they're just like, well, that was a great success. I'm like, was it though? Because we don't even talk anymore. But I wish you all the best.
We got a little segment. It's called "This is a list of my favorite things," right?
Okay.
Answer to the best of your ability. If you can't get to the answer, just say next, right?
Okay.
So first one, favorite movie?
Soul Plane.
Oh, that's a good one. Favorite series?
Sheldon.
All right. Favorite book?
Harry Potter.
Favorite inspirational quote?
Never be afraid to show the world who you truly are, because you'll be quite surprised at who loves the person you hide.
Wow, that's amazing.
DJing.
Favorite musical artist?
Musical artist. I'm gonna go for right now, but like Tira he's just always hits it for me.
Oh yeah?
DJ Tira. Yeah. And I went to his house. I don't think he knows that, but Tira,
he doesn't
at your house. Like
he's legendary. He's legendary. Then favorite song?
Favorite song? Favorite song? I'm gonna say Lady Soul by Jazzy D. I put out a classic because my sister and I.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Favorite guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure? Lasagna.
Lasagna, yeah?
Is that a guilty pleasure?
I love lasagna too. I gotta ask you, do you have your lasagna with salad or no salad?
Salad.
Not too much salad, right?
Not too much salad.
Yeah, because
It's just on the side, you feel good.
some people don't get the proportion. They put too much salad in them, like this is salad.
Lasagna with a side of fries, yeah, then
Yeah.
you'll be sleeping.
Oh yeah, that's like carbs and carbs. Then last one, favorite excuse.
Favorite excuse? Favorite excuse? Sorry, my battery died.
Your battery. I was like, oh, it happens a
Never
lot.
did. I'm walking with my charger all the
Yeah.
time. So we can't use that excuse anymore. Depends
Exactly,
how
because
public
you
this
got a
goes.
power bank and all that. Yeah, right? And moving back to, in terms of comedy, right? Do you have like a dream stage, like where you want to perform? Is Madison Square Garden? Do you have,
It is
like, a
Madison
dream-
Square
Oh,
Garden.
yeah?
O2 Arena would be amazing in the UK. I mean, it's
Yeah.
UK in comedy is it's a huge achievement, I think. But you know, on my flight here, I was visualizing the Oscars and
Oh,
the
yeah?
awards that I'm receiving. So once that comes to fruition, I'll be.
So definitely movies. You want double movies?
I would love to. Yeah, I would
Yeah?
love that challenge. I think it would be an
Action
amazing
comedy.
challenge.
I can see you as
I
like a
think maybe-
comedy action stuff. If you got, if you can find.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love the challenge, and I would love to put myself to the test in that over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
But to be rewarded on that level for hard work would be incredible. But there's a lot more hard work to happen.
Yeah, man. We wish you all the best. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. And in terms of just plugging in to the fans out there, you got like a lot of tours. We put in this like worldwide. So
Yes,
go for
yes,
it.
yes. Well, looking forward to obviously wrapping up South Africa. Thank you so much to everybody for coming. And I'll be in the Middle East in Dubai and Doha at the end of January. And then throughout Europe, in some of the Schengen countries over the course of February. And then on to Asia and the UK and New Zealand right up to the middle of the year. And the rest will follow after that. Everything's on my socials and kevinfraserfisher.com, so check it out.
Perfect. You know what it is. You're sitting table and Cassie, do you know what it is? The Dressing Room Podcast. Appreciate
Thank
your time,
you, bro.
man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.